Hi friends from around the world, scammers are on the rise. And just as for trademarks, we have a counterfeiting industry. So a real industry based on this, based on scamming, based on counterfeiting goods offered to the public, and there is a market for it. So here we have the internet scamming. Well, internet scamming is now, but in the years it was all kind of scamming which was around. Now, let me share with you another 2 or 3 stories of my own knowledge. I'm quite old, so I have come across a lot of these kind of scamming issues. Now, when I had once a property for holiday renting in Spain, and it worked well in summer, but it worked badly in winter, so I had practically no customers in winter. Now, a certain moment I received an email, so it was published on the internet, and my contact details, etc., were there. And I received an email from, what was it? Can't remember, the Côte d'Ivoire, so the Marfil Coast. From Africa. I get an email for somebody who wanted to rent the apartment for 3 months. So it was a good deal for me, because in winter normally I didn't have clients, as I said before. So I was happy, and I offered him a good rate, which I think was a bit discount with regard to the normal price, and in return back. So I have wired the money. He wanted to pay first. I have wired the money. But then afterwards, after a week or so, he told me that the money has been frozen by customs, by customs policy, or by fiscal policy, or whatever it was. So it was some 40 years ago. So they tried to fix it, that problem, and it was not possible. And then they told me, well, it was a possibility that I can make a payment of whatever it was, 1,000 euros or 2,000 euros to the customs or to the fiscal authorities or whatever it was, and then it would be released. And they went so far to send me some official document from the customs authorities, the fiscal authorities from that African country, in order to make a credible issue on the point here. I surely never paid anything upfront here, and the end result was that I receive the government protocols of the College of Ministers once in a while. So there was a government involved, or authorities from that country were involved in that kind of scam. That was one. Another that was, and I fell for it. So I must say I fell for it. That was an issue where my son, we lived in Spain by then, my son my eldest son, he made his first appointment, first work, so to say, in Luxembourg, and we looked for some apartment. So, and until the late moment, there was he searched something, and it didn't work out, and it was too expensive or whatever, and he came to me to help him at the last moment, a week or so before he actually wanted to go to work in Luxembourg. So we searched the internet, we found something which was interesting, that was in the center of Luxembourg somewhere, and we contacted for the renting possibility, and we were answered back, okay, well, I'm actually in London, and I am the owner of that apartment. I will rent it out to you, but I need a upfront payment through wire service, which was only a cash service. So it was a kind of anonymous money transfer service, which have all around the globe. which was used by that time very much. Now, she sent me a contract, and she sent me a photo of her, etc. And it seemed all well. And I made an upfront payment, which is often normal in Europe for renting issues. I made an upfront payment of whatever it was, 1 month or so, 2 months, I think. And my son went there, and there was no such apartment. It was all a scam. The alarm bells should have been ringing using that transfer system, anonymous transfer system. I should have insisted in having a bank account. Otherwise, these anonymous transfer systems, so somebody showed up in London, in the London office, and they took the money, and I think they didn't identify themselves, not even that. And it turns out that the photo of the ID of that person, of that lady, that didn't exist, was stolen. So that was an internet scam. The apartment did not exist. The money was wired anonymously and via a cash transfer system. And from a distance, it is very difficult to make that. So it should have ringed the alarm bell that we're using that transfer system. That is the lesson here to be drawn. Now, a third one. That is that was the time pressing issue. The emotions were with regard to time pressing. I have only 1 week. I have only one chance. I see only one offer. So I have to do it. And it seemed quite normal with regard to, I received an ID from her, etc. But, you think it is a real ID, and you can't think that is a stolen ID. Now, the third issue is a quite recent issue and is a common scam in the internet with regard to the crypto industry. So you get offered a kind of through a narrative. So there's a narrative about there. There's a big, on Twitter, on the social media, you have a big company, a trusted company, like the big crypto exchanges, etc. So the people are known in the industry, and they are trusted naturally because they are solid companies. And though there is the impersonation of those in order to create trust between the scammer and the scammed person. So impersonation on Twitter, on social media, on Facebook, whatever it is, Instagram, and they are offering a kind of narrative. Probably is a link to another website, and on that website that seems to be very official with regard to that, crypto exchange. And they they tell you something. So that cryptocurrency, they are celebrating 1 million customers or 10 years of existence, and they put out 10,000 of whatever cryptocurrency they offer, and they tell you, in order to celebrate, we put on the market whatever quantity of cryptocurrency. And then for a limited time, or for a limited stock, if you send them to that address, they tell you X quantity of crypto, they would send you back 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times the quantity you sent to them. But that upfront payment is only in order to verify your address, so that it cannot be deviated to another address, what would be the return of the cryptocurrency which has been wired to them. So, and then on the impersonator goes further on, because you have, whatever following people on and trusting people on the social media, and these people are also impersonated, and they are saying this is okay, this is a good thing. So they're making, and I have used that service and it works. And then on the internet itself, you have some customer reviews, all fake, right? But you have some customer reviews, you have the possibility to make a response as well. But once you you want to make a response in order to say that is a scam, it is not possible for you to do so. So you have some indications. It is first too good to be true, right? So 10 times the money, the tenfold in one moment, one instant to another. Is that really possible? Or five times? No, it is not possible. It is even one bagger in the stock market, for example, is very difficult to obtain. I was not able to obtain one bagger in my lifetime. I sold early always. Now, this is one thing. The trust issue is another. So impersonation of persons that you trust, they are involved in a certain way. I don't know how do they get to that information, who are following you, who are trusting you, but they get this information, and you receive in your inbox as well that these persons either have used it, or they think this is a good thing, or they direct you to it, or whatever. But they are impersonating. So if you go to the real social media or to the internet side of that company, you don't find anything. So it is making on the greed, and on the possibility of missing out, because there's only limited time. So you don't want to make a due diligence and talk to all your friends through whether you should or should not do it. Now, the last thing is the revenge thing. You may be in a kind of, you had made a bad decision, a bad business decision, whatever, and you are frustrated because you made a loss, and a loss which could have been avoided. Now, that loss makes you frustrated, which is normal, right? I would be frustrated as well if I had lost whatever it was. Now, that frustration that makes you lower again the guard. You want now to make another trade in order to make good the loss. But on top of it, you want also something to show for, so some profit. So that is kind of a revenge trade or revenge action you want to have, which builds up inside yourself. And this is lowering the guard of what is the defense instrument, your normal defense instrument, your common sense against these scammers. And this is even worse, because you lower your guard, you're putting more money on the table, and you're risking naturally more. So this is the revenge trade. That is a very, very bad issue. You should calm down. You have a loss. Okay, that is a loss. Let me analyze it, and let me not repeat this again. I will do it next differently. That is the wise decision. The bad decision would be, I will put up like in the casino, I will lost on red, so I will double up on black now, and then I've lost again, though I will again double up. So your risking is mounting, and until you have lost everything. So that's on the scamming industry. An important thing. Once you get traction, you want to invest something, etc. So you are prone to that. So they identify you in whatever way, and you get messages of this kind. You should not fall prey to it. Make your due diligence and act with common sense. Thanks for today tuning in.